hall of the Orion Star Court shimmered with silver lights as envoys gathered from distant regions. The air carried a quiet rhythm from floating lanterns that pulsed with gentle ripples of energy. In the center stood Princess Lyra, heir of the Orion Empire, tall and regal with a crown shaped like a folded crescent. Her deep violet eyes watched the entry gates with steady focus. She knew why the meeting had been called, and she did not approve of it. Her mother, Empress Valura, believed the tension between the Orion Empire and the rising human alliance could be eased with unity. A marriage between the princess and a human representative would serve as the symbol of a new age. Lyra had argued that she did not need a forced bond to represent peace. Her empire was strong, proud, and unmatched in wisdom. She believed humans were too unpredictable. They rose quickly, explored without fear, and fought storms no one else dared to face. Lyra did not distrust them, but she did not see herself bound to one. Yet the Empress had spoken the final decision. The alliance needed more than treaties. It needed a face. It needed trust shaped into one bond that could not be ignored. Lyra had accepted the order with a stiff nod, though she kept her opinion clear. She would meet this human, judge his character, and reject the match if he proved unworthy. She repeated that thought to herself as the hall doors opened. When the guards stepped aside, a single figure walked into the great chamber. He moved with calm steps, unhurried, carrying no weapons or devices. His simple uniform bore the emblem of the human alliance. His hair was dark and cut short. His eyes were focused but warm in a way that felt strange within the cold hall. His posture was steady. His presence felt quiet, yet something followed behind that quiet, a feeling of weight not seen but sensed. His name was Aaron. Lyra had expected arrogance or nervous babbling. She expected a man who would try to impress her with ranks and medals or stories of battles. Instead, Aaron offered a respectful bow without bending too low. He held his ground with dignified silence. The court took notice. The Empress gave a faint nod. Lyra remained still, though inside she wondered why her chest tightened for a moment. Aaron approached the platform where Lyra stood. He paused a few paces away, not invading her space, not shrinking back. He waited for permission to speak. She had not expected that kind of awareness. The Empress greeted him first. He answered with a deep voice that carried honesty more than pride. When he spoke, the hall seemed to lean closer. After the formal greetings ended, the Empress gestured to her daughter. Lyra stepped forward. She kept her chin high. She would not show uncertainty. She addressed Aaron with the tone of a ruler. She told him that unity should never be forced. She said she valued strength, honor, and truth. Then she stated that she opposed the marriage unless she believed in the one who stood before her. The hall fell silent. Many envoys exchanged uneasy glances. Aaron did not shift his stance. He told her he did not come to claim anything. He said he came to offer respect, and whether she accepted him or not, the alliance would endure. His voice held no fear. His eyes held no hesitation. Lyra felt her breath catch. She hid the reaction behind her calm mask. The Empress announced that the princess and the human would share a walk through the sky gardens, a place where no arguments or formal negotiations were allowed. It was a place where truth grew in silence. Lyra agreed. Aaron did as well. The sky gardens stretched across a transparent terrace that hovered above the palace. Rivers of light flowed along crystalline paths. Tall vines glowed with soft green pulses. Platforms rose and dipped like floating petals. When Lyra led the way, Aaron walked beside her without falling behind or stepping ahead. She questioned him about his role in the alliance. He answered with clarity. He had served as an officer in several frontier missions. He had led but never demanded loyalty. He believed in cooperation more than commands. Lyra found the simplicity unusual, but genuine. She asked about his family. He spoke with softness that surprised her. His parents were explorers. His sibling worked in a research fleet. His life had been shaped by curiosity. That matched the reputation of humans who moved across the galaxy with speed unmatched. Lyra asked why humans rose so quickly. Aaron thought for a moment. He said humans never believed they were small. Even when they faced storms that crushed them, they stood up again. They refused to let fear define them. Lyra paused at that. The Orion Empire was powerful, but its people valued caution. They studied before acting. Humans acted to learn. She had always viewed that trait as reckless, yet hearing it in his voice made it feel brave. They reached the high terrace where the wind carried gentle warmth from the nebula above. Lyra stopped at the edge and gazed at the stars. Aaron did the same. She asked a question she had not meant to ask. She wanted to know if he felt pressured by this union. Aaron answered truthfully. He said he felt the weight of responsibility, but he did not feel forced. He would honor whatever choice she made. His calm tone held conviction. Lyra studied him. She sensed a depth she had not expected. Something lived behind his steady gaze. A strength coiled not in muscle or power, but in spirit. It felt like a quiet storm. Before she could speak again, a sudden tremor shook the terrace. The sky dimmed as shadows crossed the light. Alarms rang from the palace. Lyra turned sharply as guards ran toward them. Her communicator flashed a warning. A rogue fleet had breached the outskirts of their region. Unknown ships approached with speed. The Empress sent an urgent message. The princess was to return at once. Aaron stepped back, giving Lyra space to act. His face remained calm, though the sky rumbled with danger. Lyra raised her voice to the guards. She ordered them to prepare defenses. She moved swiftly across the terrace, with Aaron following. They reached the command chamber, where star maps lit the air. The Empress stood with advisors. Battle paths formed across the projection space. The intruders were not from a known alliance. Their pattern was sharp and aggressive. They targeted the palace. The Empress prepared to send interceptors. Lyra prepared to join them. Aaron stepped nearer. He said he knew the pattern. He had seen similar tactics from raiders who studied battle codes from old wars. He could predict their next formation. The generals paused. Lyra looked at him with surprise. He explained the movement style with precise detail. He traced paths on the projection with clarity. His voice steady, his focus sharp. The generals saw sense in his analysis. They adjusted the defense plan. Lyra watched him with rising curiosity. This was not simple knowledge. This was experience carved through hardship. The Empress approved the updated formation. The interceptors launched. Lyra prepared to go as well. Aaron asked to accompany the command crew. He said he could guide the response team. The Empress agreed. Lyra hesitated, but accepted. They entered the command vessel that hovered above the palace dome. Energy shields glowed. The interior hummed with engines ready for combat. Lyra took her seat beside the pilots. Aaron stood at the tactical console. His hands moved across controls with confidence. His calm posture never wavered. When the enemy fleet burst from hyperspace, the battle began. Fire streaked across the sky. Shield lines glowed with pressure. Lyra took command of the attack wing. She directed ships with precision. Aaron provided rapid predictions. His mind moved through patterns faster than many trained officers. Lyra saw something else in him. He remained composed even when danger edged close. His voice held control when alarms blared. He carried no fear in his face. That quiet strength settled the crew and sharpened their focus. Enemy vessels broke formation. Aaron predicted their shift before sensors did. His direction allowed Lyra to anticipate their strike. She ordered a countermove that cut through the enemy front. Engines roared as interceptors circled. Light burst across the sky. The tide shifted, but one enemy vessel dove toward the palace with a speed unmatched. Lyra saw it flash across the star map. She ordered pursuit. The command vessel moved to intercept, but the distance was wide. Aaron stepped to the forward deck. He asked for direct control of the auxiliary wing. The crew paused. Lyra hesitated, but she saw something in his eyes. A spark that said he had done this before. She gave permission. Aaron connected to the remote system. His hands moved across the console. The auxiliary wing responded like a living extension of his will. He guided the small fleet into a tight arc. His movements were flawless. He struck the enemy vessel before it reached the palace dome. The explosion spread across the sky like a falling star. The threat ended. Silence filled the command ship. The crew stared at him. Lyra felt her breath stall. She had doubted him, opposed the Union, and dismissed humans as reckless wanderers. But watching him command under pressure changed something inside her. She saw a strength deeper than muscle or title. She saw a mind forged by challenge. She saw a spirit that stood tall even in storms. She felt her view shift in a single moment. When the battle ended, the command vessel returned to the palace. The Empress met them with pride. She thanked Aaron for his assistance. She praised Lyra for her leadership. The court gathered again. The hall glowed brighter this time. Peace settled through the space like a soft wave. Lyra stepped forward. Her eyes found Aaron. For a moment she said nothing. She studied him with new understanding. She realized her earlier stance had been shaped by assumptions. She had thought humans lacked the balance need.